underground.
There is no excuses when it comes to being villains. You have to be. You're either a part of something or you're against something. And this shit where we're going down this whole road of, oh, we all have to be kumbaya and everything has to be peaceful and we have to love and this, that, the third. F out of here. Where you're looking to go requires destruction and violence. Don't believe me. If you look at your current system and the way that you operate in your life right now, is it optimal for the life that you want to live? No, because if it was, you would be living the fucking life that you want to live and the one that you dream about, the one that you tell people about, the one that you fucking lie about to everybody. It would be that. But it's not, because you are in a current system that you're not willing to bring destruction and violence to the things that are holding you back. And sometimes that means you got to bring destruction and violence to the people that are within that system. It's not only just about you, bro. It's about the people you have within the system that you're operating in that doesn't work for you. And it doesn't work for the direction that you're trying to go. Right? So you must bring destruction. Now, does this mean like, oh, you need to go kill people? No, that's not what I mean. But when it comes to these relationships that you cling on to, these fantasy things that you think are going to work for you in the long run just because you like somebody. This idea of liking people, this idea of wanting to be liked, this idea of staying in people's good graces, while it's not always good to burn bridges, what it is good to close the fucking entrance of that bridge. Right? This doesn't mean that you don't got the key to go back on the bridge, but this means that no one has access to come across that bridge. Not you or the other person. Right? And so that requires you saying no. And saying no is not the easiest thing to say, right? But if you don't, you're going to disrespect yourself. And what I talked about in a previous video is respect is one of the biggest things you better have within your bag when it looks to coming to upgrade and elevate yourself out of the trenches or out of the current state you're in to get to the next level. And that goes for everybody. No's are probably the best thing when it comes to getting to the next level, simply because anything that goes against where you're trying to go should be a no. It should be. Sometimes it's not for the short-term thrill, but it's also to save face. Sometimes we only say yes to save face. We don't want to look bad. We don't want to say no to the things that we know people care about. We don't want to be the asshole in someone's story. But you have to be. You have to be. And you hear people talk about stand on business. Then standing on business sometimes means standing for yourself in a circle full of people that want you to be with them, but you have to say no. You just have to. It is what it is. You have to be comfortable in that state of mind, that state of being. And is it easy? Hell no. But I'd rather be the villain in someone's story to be the hero in mine than for someone else, for me to be the fucking sucker who went to go help somebody else or be in somebody else's good graces, and then I fuck my whole life up or I fuck my situation up. And the only reason I'm speaking like this is because I've been there, bro. I go through it even now. Right? Where I want to say no, but I say yes just to save face, or say yes because I feel obligated to. And you could go as far as saying that requires restraint, not only in just saving face in these little short-term relationship sort of ordeals, but that also means financially, that means physically, that means the things you indulge in terms of maybe you're not a sports person, maybe you're not a sports betting person, right? But you say yes because you want to be with the boys, because you're lonely. You're disrespecting yourself, bro. And that's not to say there's anything against people that gamble. That's not to say that there's anything against people who wanna enjoy the things that they enjoy in their story. But that means that you know your story to a degree. You do. You know your story to a degree. You know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. You know the things that could take you to the next level and what you got to cut out to become the person that you got to be. And that can be scary sometimes. It's scary simply because you know that the whole system that you have right now in your life is going to be altered dramatically. Dramatically. Your whole system of the way that you live, the way that you operate, the way you spend money, the way you talk to people, the way you show up to events, the way you dress, the way you speak, all of these things will change quickly. And that just depends on how serious you are about it. If you're serious about the change that you talk about all the time, or the change that you want to bring into your life, or the next step, the next level that you want to go to, you have to be very intentional and violently disrupt your current situation so that it can cause the chaos, because through the chaos comes the birth. Like, these things sound so cliche, but when you just break things down to a simple term and a simple way of thinking, just know that, bro, to get into a better system, you have to disrupt the system, the current system, right? Or at least build on it. And building on it is not always easy, right? So there's some level of violence, destruction, pain, suffering, sacrifice, time given up. People's feelings are gonna get hurt. How you expect to go to the next level if you're surrounded by bums, right? You're surrounded by bums, right? And bums, hey, but you can be a high functioning bum. Don't get it twisted now, because I think people get it fucked up. You can be a high functioning bum. And when I say a high functioning bum, I mean, yo, you have no aspiration to go to the next level, but the current situation where you're at is not totally. You might have a good apartment, a nice car, a good shorty, or a couple of shorties, and that system works for you. But you have no aspiration to change the people around you, no aspirations to develop your brain anymore, no aspirations to be better, no aspirations to bring more value to the world and the people that you see every day, no aspiration for none of that. So you're a high functioning bum in my case, in my eyes. And that's to say that bum is subjective, right? Depending on who you are and what state of mind you're in and what level you want to go to, that bum situational phase might not be too bummish for you. That might be okay. But what I'm saying is that if you want to evaluate yourself on a competitive scale within the manosphere of humans, of men, you have to understand that there is a level of competition that requires violence and demolition to your current common understanding of what you live right now. Because I could take my own, there's somebody who's calling me a bum. But that's what the question always begs, is that, are you doing enough to get to where you want to go? And are you putting in the sacrifices? Are you saying no? And are you doing those things to get to the next level? And if you're not, then hey, you might want to look yourself in the mirror, buddy, because you can't be the same one that goes out and complains and talks about like, oh, hey, I want to be here, or I'm going to be here, but then don't do any work to do it. Don't disrupt anyone's life that may be used to the old you to get to the new you. You got to say no. You got to be able to say no. You got to take that rejection and throw it at people like water, bruh. Throw it to everybody like they starving, they thirsty, they're parched, and they need water. Throw rejection down people's throats like no before, like no, yo. You have to want it, yo. Because if you don't want it, it's just going to wither away. And as it withers away, you have to also understand that the momentum that you had before, that you thought you had, because momentum comes in various ways. Momentum could be, yo, I'm writing my shit down on a to-do list. Yo, I wrote my distractions list down. I'm trying to knock them out one by one. Oh, I'm trying to do this. And then there's a wedge where you go out with somebody, maybe you drink, you get high, you do this, you do that, and you start to ingrain that old way of living back into your life. That whole system of that you were prepared to execute on, you don't execute the next day because you're hungover. Or you're surrounded by the same friends that f***ed you up before. So now the momentum's slowing down. Then when it's time for you to say no again, you don't say no because you're already slowing down. Whereas if you isolated yourself, said no to all of the things that you know are bad for you, said no to the things that don't promote your health, don't promote your cash flow, don't promote you getting to the next level, you would be easier to say absolutely not, because I like where I'm at and I like the trajectory that this feels like, because it feels like I'm going upwards. Right? So saying no is such an important piece in the stepping stones of success. And again, I'm not at the peak of success. I promise you, where I want to be in my brain, here is nothing. Right? But I understand that there are stepping stones. You have to get better at understanding that there are stepping stones, and to get to the next stepping stone, you must say no to everything else that isn't that next stepping stone. And that requires violence and dominance over everything that you may think that you're doing right now. Because what you're doing right now is not going to get you to the next level. It may prepare you, but it's not going to be that ultimate push to the next level. So do what you got to do. I'm about to hit the gym. I'll holla at y'all boys.
Boy, Mr. Brown.